as we continue here with some interior bits of the plane. I'm going to be talking a lot more during this edition, so be sure to stick around. I'll try to put an indicator on the screen as to how long the next time lapse will last, so you can maybe scrub past it using the timeline. I think I'll also endeavor to put some chapter markers down so you can skip the time lapses if you're so inclined. But in the meantime, let's keep building. Welcome to the next video. So we're going to continue here on the pieces of the fuselage interior, which is mainly the shoulder brace, these head rests, and the heat conduit at the bottom of the fuselage, as we said before. So I've done these as one step. I wouldn't do that again. That was really messy, really difficult, and just it didn't come out well. If I were to do this again, and I'm kind of considering doing it again, kind of see how this pans out, I would rather do the front and one side and then do the back and the other side on a following layup. Doing it all at once, don't recommend.
It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I can't improve. Would you be my Fortnite? Would you be my Fortnite? Would you get a blue.
All you left me was the radio, and it goes like ooh, yeah, yeah, and it goes like ooh.
Last night was fun. We did the big layup on this fuselage side. We had this perfect opportunity of no rolling blackouts, perfect temperature, I was available, nothing was standing in my way. I started doing this layup, and about 3/4 through, our power utility announces they're going into rolling blackouts again, and the power was going to be cut within an hour. So in the last bit I had to basically just sprint to the end. So I've seen some imperfections that have resulted from that last minute rush. As you can see, I was very happy to have just squeaked in the final bits of work, and while I was busy cleaning up, the power went out. So at least we made it. So we've got some cleanup to do, and then maybe we can sit in this thing.
Yeah, yeah. When I press play, all I hear is you, and it goes like ooh, yeah, yeah. When I press play, all I hear is you. Oh, every single song tells me we're through. Yeah, but I can't turn it off 'cause it's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth, and it goes like.
Okay, so we've reached a key milestone in the Cozy project. One of the cool parts is the first time we get to sit in it. So I've just completed this side layup and did all the cleanup around it. So it's pretty much done as far as the tub is concerned. We're now working on some of the interior bits, shoulder brace and headrests, if you've been following the videos. Yeah, so now is the first time we actually get to sit in the tub and see if it breaks, essentially, if it can hold my weight. And we're going to do that right now, so let's just give it a shot. Okay, it seems to be holding my weight pretty well. And this is the technique for getting in the plane. Just hit my hand there. Whew. All right. And there you go. We have a tub. We have a third of a plane, if you ask me. We're going to have to be working on wings, landing gear, that kind of things from this point on, once we've finished up the interior. I've already spoken to the guy making the seatbelts, and he's started work. So now we're just going to basically finish up the interior. Okay, one of the mandatory things you have to do when sitting in your airplane is make airplane noises. Meow. Meow.
All you left me was the radio, and it goes like ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. And it goes like ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. When I press play, all I hear is you. And it goes like ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. When I press play, all I hear is you. Oh, every single song tells me we're through. But I can't turn it off cause it's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. And it goes like
So now that we've done the side of the fuselage, I came back to this shoulder brace. It turns out I'd assembled it incorrectly in the previous video. If you go back and look at it, you'd have seen that this piece was glued onto this edge here, and that was incorrect. I assembled it the wrong way around. I had to come in with the multi-tool, cut it loose, sand down the surfaces where I'd done an enforcing layup, and then assemble it the correct way, and then you can see I've laid out the glass there to do the reinforcing layup again. I'm not quite doing this piece to plans. I think the plans way of doing it is a little bit odd, so I actually prefer to do it this way. It was just a little bit of a different procedure to assemble it, but it results in pretty much the same thing. So we need more strengthening layups there on the hard points, on those wooden hard points. Need to be brought up flush with this foam, with pure glass basically. So that we can put nut plates at the back of these for bolts for the seat belts. The seat belts that go over the shoulders anyway. Okay, then that is going to get installed here into the fuselage. Right there, like I said, for the top of your shoulders. I've mocked up here the rear heat duct. So this is basically the area between the two rear seats. There's a heat duct that's going to run through there. You would have, if you looked carefully, seen me make that piece in the previous video, even though I didn't really talk about it at the time. That was fabricated, and that's going to serve as a fitting between this and a hot air pipe coming from the engine. How the heating works is there's a shroud around the exhaust. Air gets pumped through that shroud around the exhaust, so the exhaust is hot. Hot air comes out of that and gets pumped in through that fitting into this duct, and that way it can run through that duct, which we have constructed quite a while ago now, into the foot area. Keep your feet warm. That air can come out of there and heat the rest of the plane. I'm sure there's more ducting and stuff you do later in the build with that. Cool, so that's what we're going to be working on. We're not going to install the headrests for now. Remember that the headrest only goes in way at the end of the build. It's just to make it easy to maneuver in and around this fuselage while we're still building, and it just gets basically epoxied in it right towards the end. Cool, so that's the next things we're going to work on.
And it goes like ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. When I press play, all I hear is you. Oh, every single song tells me we're through. Yeah, but I can't turn it off cause it's the truth. And it goes like ooh, yeah, yeah. Play, all I hear is you. Oh. Song tells me we're through, yeah, but I can't turn it off.
I've fabricated these mounting points for the seat belts. These, if we can have a look here, they mount into the fuselage here on the lower longeron, basically fit in there, and we'll get glass reinforcement over it and get floxed in there. And so they've got a interesting shape to them, if I'm interpreting the plans correctly anyway. And then I've made these braces out of this angle stock. This is aluminium, 2024 aluminium, and that's going to get bolted into there once it's mounted inside the fuselage. They're not finished the best, but did give them a light buffing to maybe bring out a little bit of shine, and it seems to have come out pretty good. Okay, so let's keep going.